yesterday, or let us actually um, um, revisit firstly and remind ourselves what we learned yesterday and the powerful idea of what Chassidus explains, Maidani. So is anybody brave enough to share, courageous enough to share what we learned yesterday about Maidani? What Chassidus explains. Linda, Denise, no, maybe. All right, so let
Oh,
me.
okay,
David?
so let me see if I can try and bring something to light.
Please,
Modi,
go ahead.
initially, you say your hands are impure, and we're coming from from a level of. First, we got to start off with the Modianim because there's no Hashem. We're not saying Hashem's name, so we're not. We got to bring things down in the.
We're in the holiest level.
We're in a holy level. Yeah. We're in a holy level. And then before we can go to Elahai Neshama,
Elakai Neshama.
So it's from the higher level to the lower level, or am I wrong? I'm trying to.
Okay, good try, good try.
Higher levels to lower levels, David, and you have to acknowledge when you're in the beginning part.
I hear Batch in the background.
Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, folks. So the explanation is as follows. There's a piece of me. I should ask you all to repeat after me. There's a piece in me that is unadulterated, pure at all times, cannot be blemished. Tim is smart. He's repeating it. Whoever else is repeating it is also smart.
You're supposed to be repeating it, David. You're not.
Okay, but no. I'm taking over here right now, and you're going to repeat after me. Again, there's a piece in me that is unblemished, unadulterated. It's pure. It's called the Yechida in me. All of the impurities cannot impurify that Yechida in me. Maidani is an expression of that piece of me that I am coming to say thank you to God. So it's coming from the Yechida in me, again, the unblemished and the completely pure, to God, to the essence of God, from the essence of me to the essence of God. God, who has no name, beyond a name, can't even be hinted by a letter, let alone a name. To the core of essence of God, you. Ani, the I of me, the essence of me, to the you of God, to the essence of God. That's what Maidani is. The reason there's no name of God is because the name of God is not the essence of God. The reason why my hands are impure and it's not a bad thing, because my hands are impure, that's an external part of me. It's not the me of me. It's not the essence of me. So my hands are impure, absolutely. But there's a place that I'm not impure, my Yechida. Other levels could become impure, but not this level. That's what Maidani is. Is that I really hope that that's clear as not as mud, but clear, clear as the water in this cup. That is not. That potentially would be. Who can give me a thumbs up that that is really clear now? Yeah, Leslie. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, Bacho, great. Israel, Linda, great. Herschel, we didn't get from you. Karen, thumbs up, Karen? Yeah? All right. Okay. So that's what we explained yesterday. Today, we're taking it a step further. What's a step further? Oh, Herschel, thank you. Thank you, thank you. What's the step further? Who remembers the metaphor of oil? Oil is a beautiful metaphor. Oil, on the one hand, rises above everything, correct? You put it onto other liquids, you put it into this cup with water in it, the oil goes to the top, correct? Anybody ever try that experiment? I'm sure we all did. By mistake, probably. What we just did was use that part of the metaphor. Oil that rises above. In other words, rising above meaning it's beyond everything. And in this sense, it represents the essence. It represents the essence. Now, there's another part of the metaphor. Who remembers what is the second element of oil? What does it do?
It infuses.
Ah, thank you, Linda. It permeates and infuses food that it cooks into, and it becomes part of the food. Now, it's uniquely part of it as an aspect of the food. It's not like, it's not like you say, if you cook, my wife made a delicious, a delicious, what's it called? Chicken on Shabbos with onions. It was delicious. Now, really, it was one plate or one dish. However, it was two separate things, chicken and onions. They were cooked together. You eat them as one. Point is, though, they are separate. As a matter of fact, some people don't like onions, so they separate the onions, right? I love the onions. More onions, right? They're two separate things. Oil, when it cooks into something, it doesn't remain separate identity like the onions and the chicken. By the way, I'm looking forward to the time that you can all be at our Shabbos table and taste this and many other good things. It's been way too long. The last time we had over for Shabbos was right after Purim, that Friday night. Lockdown had just begun, whatever, or just partially. So looking forward. But when oil cooks in, it permeates and becomes part of the product that it's cooking into. It doesn't have its own identity like the onions and the chicken. It has only the identity of what it's being a part of. Right? Correct? Makes sense what I just said? Now with that, we carry forward the next level, next understanding of what Chassidus does. Not only Chassidus is like the oil, that it is separate, it is the Yechida, it's above and beyond the other levels, but oil, it will also, Chassidus, cook in, permeate the simple meaning, the hinted meaning, the homiletic meaning, and the mystical secrets of the Torah. In what manner? It will permeate it to give it a new taste, a new flavor, an essential flavor, right? But it will still remain what? Pshat won't become Chassidus. Pshat will remain Pshat. Simple meaning is simple meaning. The hinted meaning is a hinted meaning, and so on. It'll be now infused with a Chassidic perspective, and thereby becoming, giving it new vitality. So let's go to the simple meaning. And simple meaning means the simple words, right? What do the simple words mean? So I give thanks, Moida'ani, lefanecha, before you, right? And what are you giving thanks for, folks? In the Maidana, give me the one word you're giving thanks for.
My soul.
Ah, thank you, David. Right. My soul. Nishmati or Nishmasi. I'm giving thanks to God for my soul. In other words, God, you've given me life. I'm giving you thanks for the life that you've given me. Here, Chassidus infuses something interesting. What are you actually giving thanks for? What kind of life? What's a life to give thanks for? So the Rebbe explains that the life that we're giving thanks for is one life and one life only. Life as a Jew with a Jewish soul, to be a Jew and to live like a Jew. Is that the only kind of life there is? There's human life. For that, we wouldn't say thank you. What do you mean? Human life has value. Of course, human life has value. And human beings need to value that and give thanks. And we need to value their life because they're created in the image of God. And therefore, their life has value. But for me, being a Jew is what I give thanks for. I don't give thanks for the fact that I'm alive. I don't give thanks for the mere fact that, I can eat, drink, enjoy life. That I would not give thanks for. Not once I've been a Jew. Once I'm a Jew, the only life that there is life of a Jew. Once I'm a Jew. You're not Jewish, right? So then that's a different story, right? If you're not Jewish, so then that's not the, But for a Jew, and the Alter Rebbe, the Rebbe gives a metaphor of like a person who, born to royalty. When you're born to royalty, right? The only life you know is life of royalty. Anything less is not true life. Again, the point over here is not to diminish the value of a non-Jewish life. Non-Jewish life is valuable. Again, created in the image of God. But relative to me, for who I am, not for who the non-Jew is, right? Me giving thanks is nishmati, my soul. What's my soul? Is my soul that I'm a human? No. My soul is that I'm a Jew. And that's what I'm giving thanks for. Rebbe says that this notion of to give thanks on this level is only on the level of Yechida. Because on the level of Yechida, there's only one reality, God. Not life, not something else. There's only one reality, your connection to God. Well, your connection to God is as a Jew. Therefore, your thanks is only as a Jew. Again, not diminishing that there is value to human life, of course. Created again, Tselem Elokim. Absolutely, no question about that. But that's not the point over here. The point over here, from the Yechida perspective of our soul, there's all there is me being bound up in my Jewishness. On the other levels of my soul, there is value to things outside of me being bound up to God as a Jew. There's value. Just like, we can understand. Before we learned this idea, was there value to just living? Absolutely. We get that. As a matter of fact, it's probably hard to get how there's the only value is, right? That notion, that notion that what's the word I'm looking for? That powerful statement is only something that the Yechida truly appreciates in its entirety. Because from that point of view, remember, that's the essence and the core of my soul. Well, the essence, the core of the soul knows nothing else but what that soul is. And what is that soul? It's a Jewish soul. On the other levels, there's value to life, and there's great value to the soul. But there's also other things, so to speak. Is that notion clear? Let's bring greater clarity. Second. Oops. Okay. Let us get the screen in front of us. Chapter 12. Can you see it? I'm sure you could. Okay, we're reading it inside. The vitality of the Chassidus introduces it to the level of pshat in Maidani. The idea that thanksgiving is expressed for restoring my soul within me lies in the emphasis of nishmati, my soul. That is to say, all the gratitude for the restoration of a Jewish soul. If a different soul were to be restored to the person, that of a non-Jew or a bondsman, even though the other soul would also revive him from the state of a 60th of death to life, right? Because when you go to sleep, it's an experience of 60th of death, right? Coming to life. He would not give thanks. Through the illumination of Yechida, he feels deeply within him that life is Jewish life only. This is the life of Adam. Adam, you are called Adam, the spirit of man which rises upward. The life and the flesh of itself, by itself, the life of an animal, a nation that is compared to a donkey or a labeled donkey within the spirit of the animal that descends downwards. In his estimation, is not life at all, and he has no reason to give thanks for it. Is that clear? Again, from this perspective. Now, continues. Though the physical life is assuredly also a very important state of existence, especially if it is human life, yet all Israel are sons of kings. The concept of life for the prince is bond with his father, the king. If a prince were to be offered life, but one that would be torn away from his father, the king, and brought to a stable to live as an animal, he would not only not enjoy such an existence, but on the contrary, he would be thoroughly disgusted and despise his life. As is known in the famous story of Rabbi Kusel Lepler, when the Alter Rebbe wanted to give him a blessing for long life, Rabbi Kusel said, but not with peasant years, not the life of peasants who have eyes and do not see, ears and do not hear, who do not see the divine and do not hear the divine. At first glance, though, this response is most surprising. When someone is offered a gift, and especially a great gift, it is not appropriate for him to say that he will not accept it unless the gift is made even larger. And inasmuch as long life itself is a great gift, especially in light of what is mentioned earlier, that the pleasure and benefit of life includes in itself all other pleasures and benefits in the world, how could then Rabbi Kusel stipulate conditions for the blessing? He wants to give him long life, but he's making a stipulation. Like, only if you give me something bigger. I want a bigger gift. It's not big enough of a gift. That makes sense. So the explanation is however, that Rabbi Kusel's stipulation was not that the measure of the blessing be increased, but rather that his longevity should be a true existence of living days. He was only explaining what it means to blessing, for it was absolutely basic absolutely basic and self-evident for him that all true existence and life consist in perceiving, seeing, and hearing godliness. Hence, he made it the condition, but not with peasant years, because to him, days and years without seeing and hearing the divine could not be considered existence at all. On the contrary, he despised such days and years. Such a feeling comes only from the manifestation of the Yechida. The four levels in our Anach are cast in a particular form, intellectual attributes, emotional attributes, and are therefore entities of a sort. And the divinity in them is an additional aspect, not their essence. Consequently, these four levels also have a measure of accommodation and potentially, albeit very subtle, for life without perceiving, hearing, and seeing, hearing godliness. In contrast, the level of Yechida, which by definition is union with the essence of God, gives utterly no allowance for nor significance to anything else but God. Wow. So let's repeat this idea of what the Yechida is. Yechida is such a level in us that only my Jewish identity has any value and has any reality. The other levels, remember, like neshama, what is that in reference to the soul? One's intelligence. Ruach is one's emotions. On an intellectual and emotional level, there's value to life that is not Jewish life. It's creation of God, in the image of God. Of course there's value. And rightfully so. And we appreciate that. And that's, and hence, we're obliged. I'm not hence we're obliged, but we are obliged to respect human life. As Pesach told a beautiful story last night by the memorial of our dear friend Israel. What did he say? Of individual will learn from the Rebbe how to greet every human being, not just a human being that does something for you. Will you greet and engage and have a good word for, but even the postman, that everyone would greet, ask how he is, how's his family. Remarkable. Think about it. Why? What do you mean? It's a human being created in the image of God. And that image of God means that there's a value in the person, not just because they brought you the mail, because they're a human being. So, greet them, engage them, and so on. So we get that. That's very clear. I'm sure we do that. But on the Yechida level, Yechida means there's only God, only the essence of who I am. On that level, the essence of who I am is not a human being. The essence of who I am is a Jew, right? Happens to be human. May not always act that way, may not always act that way, but that's what I am, a Jew.
Okay.
Right? Yisrael.
So I have a question. Where does the mind come in?
Well, we just explained the mind is the neshama level, right?
Right.
So the neshama level is not the essence of the soul. Mind isn't the essence of the soul, right? It's a quality of the soul. So the mind, how does the mind work? How does the mind, Israel, what happened to you?
I'm here. I'm here. Whoops, sorry. I'm here, sorry.
Okay, better.
There.
You look better in person. I mean, you look better in picture than in black. A black screen, that is.
I look better in color.
Better in color, right? Better in color than in black and white. Exactly. Yeah. The name in white and the rest is black. Well said. So well said. Yeah. Herschel, you with us? You hear the question? So what's the mind, right? So what's the mind? What's the mind? How does the mind work? Does the mind naturally perceive something that's essential? Not at all. What is the nature of this world? The nature of this world is everything is cause and effect, right? You say something nice, you cause a nice reaction. You say something nasty, you cause, right? You blow. Well, that was a powerful blow. And the cup blows, right? The cup goes flying. Cause, strong blow, effect, velocity of the cup. Everything is cause and effect. What does that mean, cause and effect? That means nothing is about the thing, it's about the effect. That there's a cause, it's creating an effect. Our minds understand that concept well. Cause and effect. Again, that's consequential, that's not essential. The mind has a difficulty, it has to really wrap itself around the idea that there's something that is an end in itself, that is not caused by something, so to speak. It just is what it is, right? So for the Jew, and their essence of their soul is that I'm a Jew that has a Jewish soul. Why? Just because. I mean, okay, that because it's a part of that. It's that part of God that is just, part of God on his terms, not on my terms, so to speak, right? Some people are Jewish because, we have a sense of community. I have a sense of belonging. I have a sense of history. I have a sense of the value of the Jewish teachings. That's all consequential. All those things are true, but they're on the lower levels of the soul. So I devote myself, great minds, never been like the Jewish minds, Jewish teachings, Jewish value system that touches the heart like no other teachings. Nothing equal to it. Nothing equal to it, but there's some other things. There are value systems. There's other great people with brains, right? On that level, there's a value to the other brains, to the other value system. No, it's not equal to ours, no question, but there's something to it, right? There's something to it. Not on Yechida. On Yechida level, there is nothing else. Because on Yechida level, the only reality is God. There's not how I get God, how I feel about God. That's consequential. All there is God. What does that mean? How does that translate? On that level of my soul, all there is that I am a Jew. Not because of history, not because of commonality, not because of values, not because of Torah, just because. Bite that. Not so easy. Digest that. Not so easy. Because we don't think that way. That's not the nature of our world that we engage in. So it makes it difficult. But that's the reality. So on that level, life has only one value as a Jew. That's why Jews who didn't live a Jewish way gave up their lives when it came to the cross, or other, is because it touched that yechida in them. It touched that quintessential point in them, the line I can't cross. And they didn't make a judgment on this. Well, let's make a calculation here. I'm going to give up my life so I don't accept another faith. I'm going to get a better Garden of Eden. I'm going to get a better reward. That's not what Jews did. That's a non-Jewish approach to giving up your life. Jews didn't do that. They gave up their lives without question, not because it was rational. Give up your life and take a bunch of Jews with you because you killed a bunch of Jews with you and you're going to get 72 Virginians. It's like trading in your old jalopy for, having 90 Rolls Royces or 72 Rolls Royces. That's logical to do. So of course you're going to destroy, obliterate your life with other people with you because you're going to get all these Rolls Royces instead of an old jalopy that's worthless. That makes sense. I mean, it's corrupt sense, right? It's corruption and it's evil, obviously. But my point of it is that it's based on rationality, which is consequential, a means to an end. What we're talking about Yechida over here is an end in itself. What does it mean, an end in itself? Nishmasi. Not that this is the only kind of life that there is, me as a Jew, nothing else. And as a Lepler, when the Alter Rebbe wanted to bless him, he said, but not peasant years. He wasn't making a stipulation. He was just saying, you want to give me a blessing for life? Well, this is the definition of life for me. Anything less than that is not life. That's not life. It's like putting me into a barn with animals and, and being raised there. That's more painful than living. And that's, the metaphor to understand this idea over here. I mean, it's not just a metaphor, it's a story, but it brings out that story, this concept over here. So that is an essential concept that a Jew recognizes when they're saying Maidani, that the simple meaning of Maidani is infused with the Hasidic perspective that Nishmasi, my soul, here is in reference to the Yechida of my soul, not to the rationality of my soul, not to the emotional state of my soul, not even to the behavior and not to the behavior of my soul, but to the essence of my soul. The essence of my soul, there's only one reality. As the essence of my soul is bound up and one with God, as the essence of my soul only knows one reality, right? God. The other layers, the way they know God is I feel God. I know God. There's an I that feels and knows. There's a separation. The Yechida level of the soul is God, nothing else. Not me feeling, not me knowing. All there is but. That will express itself in this idea of giving thanks to God. And Maidani, when we say that in the morning, what am I giving thanks for? Nishmasi, for my soul. What does that mean? What soul? Soul that has life? No. The soul of me as a Jew. That's what I give thanks for. That's a powerful idea. That's essential. Recognition that that's how deep my thanks to Hashem is for who I am in my identity as a Jew. By the way, just to show you how deep that this is, that someone who converts to Judaism, God imbues them with a soul that's just the same as someone who was born and was from generations, rabbinic dynasty. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So a newcomer is going to have a soul like someone who is, who, like the Rebbe, that comes from, the Rebbe has his lineage back to the Maharal to Rashi to Rabbi Yochanan Sandler and the Talmud. Rabbi Yochanan Sandler and the Talmud delineates all the way back to King David. Rebbe traces all the way back to King David. You know, rabbis, great leaders, and people all the way back. His soul, and someone who just converts today, right? Yesterday, whatever. Same. Why? Doesn't make that. That's ludicrous. I mean, it makes sense. You're right. Because we're not talking about a soul that is based on consequentials. It's an essential thing. It's the core of me. So when I wake up in the morning, that core of me recognizes that I'm saying thank you. Who's the core of me that's saying thank you? Nishmasi, my soul that God has restored, my Jewish soul. Not because now, I can now embrace my people. I can have a people. I have a history. I have a value system. That's all the consequence of it. But that's not what Maidani is coming to express. Got nothing to do with that. Even if you don't embrace it, right? Some, I don't like some Jews, and I don't like some of our history. We did some bad things, Yeah, we killed the Philistines, and and whatever. We definitely can find things about us that are not to be enamored. Okay. So what? This is just who I am, in essence, in core, regardless. So when I'm saying that thanks to God, just for the fact that I'm a Jew. That obviously doesn't mean that there aren't consequences to that. There's a lot of consequences, but that's not where this thank you is coming from. It's coming from the core of my soul that's beyond all of those things. That's why we say Elokai Neshama, and we say blessings, and we say other thanks to Hashem for other things that are a consequence that come. But if you can't touch the core and can't get that idea across first, then everything else, the ripple effect that comes from it, will not be healthy, will not be appropriate, will not be in its proper perspective, because you plant a seed with you get a tree by planting the seed, a healthy seed. If it's a corrupt seed, right? Now I won't go into any, Montesano and or anything like that, right? But if it's a healthy seed, it's going to be a healthy growth, which is the consequence of it. So in the morning, first thing we say, Maidani, thank you, God. Ich bin Ayid. I'm a Jew. Not even how precious. That's already the next thing. That's already an appreciation. Almost. It's like, beyond. Any questions, any comments? Powerful, unbelievable. I'm not sitting in my skin right now. It's just, we shouldn't be sitting in our skin right now. We should just be we should make somersaults and cartwheels.
Modeni, we say it first thing. If we're up in the middle of the night, so no,
it's when you're waking up to start your day.
That's when you're starting.
Foundation of your day. If you're going in the middle of the night to say to go to the bathroom, for example, right? You don't say Maidani. You woke up 2 a.m. and you're going to go back to sleep. You don't say Maidani.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Richard, any questions, Richard? You got it? Something to live with. Katie, welcome. Israel, that's clear now. Karen, we're good? All right. Ohio is doing good. All right, and so is New York. How is North Carolina? Sarah Malka.
Very well, thank you.
All right, folks. That's it. We continue tomorrow. You guys are great. And I'm very privileged to be able to spend time with you. All
Thank
right.
you,
Have a
Robert. Fine,
wonderful
that
the
was
rest of the
amazing.
day. Sei mir gesund.
Have a good day.
Thank
Yes.
you. Be
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you, good.